Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Watch the screen.
Shotgun now for Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Throwing is Wentz. This short throw caught by Goddard. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down.
I can't believe they even let you play.
On play action, Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. From the gun, it's Wentz. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. DeMarcus Lawrence, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. On 4th down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Fielded just inside the 30. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They go play action now. Jackson, oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he's got room. 15th touchdown now on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Philadelphia. A first down carry by Elliott. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Now on second and 13. Wentz.
They're in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Now a play fake. Wentz rolling to his right. And the throw there going to be incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Hines. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
On 2nd down now, it's Hines. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 3.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Hey, pick it up, defense.
Now Jackson on 1st down. Buying time to his left. Open man is Kroon, the tight end. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Tyree Jackson scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And maybe the defense caught a little by surprise there that he took off and got in?
Yeah, I would think so, because if you're analyzing it from that side of the ball, you're thinking running back, fullback. It takes you a while before you get to the quarterback.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Elliott. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll make it a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Jackson. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 23.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. A route run.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Sunday. Here, shift.
Now Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Check. Hot. Sunday. Hey, Lou. Great 15. What's up?
Working from the gun, Wentz. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken at the 15. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a give, right side. Hines. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Here's Jackson. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. A run there on 1st down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They run with Hines. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 28.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that could be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and they picked up a 1st down for them, too.
They try and run on 1st down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. From the gun, Jackson going up top. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. In for the score. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Go.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Typically down in the 1st half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. 1st half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. A final shot before half for Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. This time Jackson will throw it. They'll find Hines out of the backfield. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd down, it's Hines. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here, so for me, that'd be enough to go ahead and punt the football and let my defense defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do here on 4th and inches.
And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And this has not been their best half so far. They're down double digits already and now forced to operate from inside their own 5.
And what they have to do now is not curse their fate as much as focus on the task at hand. Inside their own 5-yard line, they've got to be careful of taking care of the football and not turning it over for the defense to score additional points.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Elliott running right. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Tight down. There you go. Here. Check 24. Check 24. Mike, check. 5-7. Too little, come.
They go to Elliott again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Here we go. Ready? Let's 5-7. Check 13.
Throwing now is Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Let's take it at around the 40. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Given up a lot of points in this game, but looked better on that play. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, come on out here.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Jackson from the shotgun. And this is caught by Curse. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
From the red zone now, here's Jackson on 1st down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he
and this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 71-yard punt return as his guys continue to pour it on.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Back now in Arlington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw is Wentz. It's brought in by Jeffrey. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. On 2nd and 11 now. Wentz into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 40.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Mike, 53.
Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. He's got his man, it's Curse. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Here's Hines. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
They don't want it,
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On second down, it's Hines. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
At the Eagles' 21-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6.
Man, I got you.
This is Hines. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to... And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now, those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. and never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, you may meet up with this team again.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Here we go. Waiting! Check, 59. Watch the run.
Again, it's Elliott. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
It's now fourth down.
Looks like the offense is going to take another shot here. They're going on 4th and 13.
Hey, we got 3 down.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. So that'll back them up 5. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And we'll see what he can do on the return. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Cowboys, it's a critical win for them as it gets them to 9-6 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to 8-7. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you want to give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. I'ma tell the risk I was never at the hit. I would never get it off my chest. Oh, I'm forgetful. Someone better tell me I was always on the edge. Overstay your bearings, I would never underestimate. Oh, baby, my bets are off. Everything
don't wear ball mains. All I ever do is ball main. I am not a rapper, they all lame. I am not dope, I'm hard. Wait, I can power up and level up at any moment. Spitting like a semi, only give me semicolon. Couple zeros like I'm sending yell nets. Every flow is unmatched and I better get set in. Finish them. Mess around with me and I diminish them all. Even if I ever did the minimum all. In the result, I'm better killing them all. Rogue one, but I got a team with me. Batman when I got a team with me. I get mean, I get green. Show the whole game what's never been seen. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Designer sneakers hurt my feet now. Every beat is getting beat down. Couldn't eat, well watch I eat now. Like how you getting paid to freestyle? Different cities every week now. Every woman is a now. What state prop you looking bleak now? I was home to sleep designer sheets now. 30 different missions when I speak they